Okay, here's a little self-reading. I've been contemplating on quitting my job because there's a lot of illegal activity going on, and I'm not impressed with that whatsoever. I talked to them about it, they're not willing to change. So I said, okay, well, let's take a reading and see what it would be like if I were to quit next week when I bring the truck back and all the equipment, when I get back into town. What would my life be like 2 years from now as a writer if I started next week? Bills due and no backup pay, right? Just like, what would this look like? What would this crazy idea look like? Well, let's take a look. It's actually a very good reading. So on the top, we have the moon upside down, which is not a good sign whatsoever. So that intuition, that driving force that causes us to think outside the box is pretty much locked up. So that's the headship card. And you know, if you see my videos, you know my style and this particular pattern that I lay out for these types of questions. That's the headship card. And then down here is the foundation cards. And then through the center is the timeline lifeline. Okay, so might see a volume change here real quick. Okay, so anyway, the moon is about intuition, is about the force of the will being brought out, feminine energy a lot, but it's basically a connection to the daemon, and that is the subconscious relationship. So that in this reading would be locked up. That's not a good sign. That's already starting out with a bad sign, right? So this is a favorable reading overall. I'm getting the answer I asked for. What would life look like 2 years from now if I quit my job, have no pay, and have a lot of bills? It's gonna look just like that. It's gonna look freaking miserable. Okay, so let's continue on. To make things worse, we have the Emperor. The Emperor with a 5 of clubs. Wow. Talk about a bad decision. So the Emperor, he's kind of the father of the house, and this would be of the grand house, right? So this is the whole scope of the universe. This is an individual who has control of everything, control of everything, and order is in place. Well, in this instance, order is not in place, and the 5 of clubs is a trial of unbelievable, and it's an unbelievable trial of strength and of will to get things done. So we can already see that this is not a good idea. Emperor upside down and or reversed, and a 5 of clubs. What a perfect match for saying tremendous hardships in building, in physical, in functioning. So that's not good. There's the center card, the pivot card, which is the Ace of Hearts. So my heart might be in the right place, and it might be happy and emotional heart trying to get things started, but it's not going to work. Why? Because I'm going to be maxed out on stress. Totally freaking stressed out. Unbelievably stressed. So we have the Jack. He's blowing in with the spades, which is swords, and he's blowing in with tremendous energy. And the 10 is that you've been worn out mentally. You are mentally gone. You've checked out. You're pretty much dead mentally. Your soul is disconnected, and this is a perfect match showing absolute mental destruction matched with physical destruction of getting things done. That's just awesome. Let's go over here to the we're going to go over here to the foundation cards, and then we have a 9 of clubs. Now the 9 of clubs is favorable, right? Favorable, and the sun is favorable. So my foundation of wanting to do these things is in the right place. I'm doing the right thing. I'm going the right direction. My foundation is there. The Nine of Clubs is the goal attained. The 10 shows the goal, and the Nine of Clubs is a goal attained, right? So we are building our edifice, whatever that is, our life, our relationship. We're building something, right? We're making something happen. And that, along with the sun, which adds energy, adds life, is a great pair. That is a great pair. Having the heart in the right place to do the right thing is great. Overall, this is a tremendously bad idea. It's an idea designed for failure, and that's what you get. That's what you get when you ask, what would life be like if I just quit my job and do my dream without any backup plan or backup pay? It looks just like that. Pretty amazing. All right, you all be greatly blessed, and I hope your New Year's of 2022 goes well. Ciao. Okay, I had to restart the video. So this is the change up on the question, shuffled several times, and it's amazing we have 2 of the cards in the very same place. So this time the question was, what would it be like if I paid my bills this year, saved up all the money I can to the end of the year, and this time next year quit my job and go into writing full time? What would that look like? So what we have here is the moon right side up this time. However, that's on the headship card. And here we go. The moon right side up. And on the foundation, though, this time we have a change. We have the sun. The sun came back. However, it's upside down, and the Fool is upside down. That is a bad pair. That's a bad combination. So let's go back to the moon. So the moon, the intuition, the discovery, the magical discovery is there, right? So that ability to draw down the moon, the ability to be creative and understand things from the intuitive world is there. That dark mystery is there, and it's right side up this time. So the head is in the right place. Last time the head was in the wrong place. Now the head is in the right place. And it looks to me like the priestess is happy about the situation, so that's good. So finances might be, we'll see finances here in a bit, might be a little struggle. But what we see here is the high priestess along with the 5 of hearts. So the 5 of hearts is pretty stressful emotionally, pretty stressful relationship-wise. And the high priestess, who is she's the high mage, and she's matched up with pretty much a broken heart. She's pretty stressed out emotionally on this thing. So that might not be a very good pairing. Temperance is upside down in the pivot position, which is never a good sign whatsoever. So the temperance is balancing the elements of the cosmos, and it is not in my favor in my spine, the spine position. So there would probably be a lot of fighting, arguing within myself, within the community, within the relationship, because there's no tempering. So it would be, this position is critical, a critical heart. You see the heart is here in a bad situation, and it is paired up, it is next to temperance, which would show critical, brokenness and critical. The magician is right side up, which is wonderful. However, he has a joker as his pair, and that's not a good sign. The upside down joker is not a good sign. So the joker is more of a darker, sinister card. So the forces and energy and life that I would bring to my writing would basically be sabotaged, right? So the magician is trying to do this great work. He's trying to accomplish this great work in the whole scheme of things, right? In the whole life, because he's part of this life of this question and the life of me, right? As a character, but he is paired up with a sinister individual. So this sinister individual, the Joker, is going to undermine everything about the magician, and that's a very sad situation. So no useful work will get done. It's just not going to happen. Now the foundation is even worse. So the fool is upside down, so he's foolish, right? So he's not just out going and learning and kind of being a greenhorn. In this case, he's like outright foolish, very much foolish. And the sun is giving no life to the situation. He's giving no life, no help, no direction to the fool. So this foundation, the foundation of this layout, is disaster, absolute catastrophe, total catastrophe. So if I were to take this reading to heart and say, okay, so I've had 2 readings, we'll do another one here in a bit, but I've had 2 readings that were not favorable to just stopping life, at my income and my income level, and just go live your dreams, right? So both of these, whether I pay my bills off or not, that was the first one. That was pretty catastrophic. We saw that right off the bat. Total stress, total catastrophe, not at all. The second one is, that we're looking at here, is pay the bills off, save up a little bit of money, and then go be a writer full-time, just right out of the gate. How would that look? Well, probably not too good. It looks to me like it's just as much disaster, if not more. Right? The only thing we have in our favor, really, in this situation, is the moon. And that is often unsatisfactory according to the other cards that are in their positions. So the moon is mated with upside down temperance, which is totally unsatisfactory. So, I'm not a millionaire. If I had $1 million to kick back on, that might be a good idea. But it looks to me like this might be a bit of a stretch, unless there is just an amazing windfall that comes through financially. So let's do another reading, and this next reading, let's do one that says something along the lines of my bills. If I pay all my bills and I have plenty of money to live my dreams, and what will that look like? Okay, I'll be back in a bit. Okay, so this is the third reading, and the question was this time that what would my life look like 2 years from now if my bills were paid and I had no financial worries, and I just started writing? What would my life look like as a writer 2 years from now if that's what I did full-time? Well, it's not very satisfactory. There's some good parts to this reading, so let's take a look. The 7 of clubs, that's pretty stressful. As a headship card, having the 7 of anything would be a little bit stressful. A 5 would be stressful. In my style of reading, the 7 basically, well, since it comes after a 6, and the 6 shows rewards for activity that you've done, the 7 is some type of conquest. Show me or prove to me that you deserve that reward you got in a 6, right? Your 6. Prove to me that you are worthy of passing from a 6 to an 8. Right? I'm not going to let you get to an 8 if you can't pass my 7. Okay, so a 7 of clubs is battle. There is battle going on. And in the head, as the headship card, that's pretty stressful, right? So we see that it's also upside down, so that's even worse. So kind of from bad to worse in that case. Let's take a look to see who we're paired up with over here. So in the timeline lifeline, we have a very favorable sign, and that is the Hermit, the introspection, the inner guiding light, and showing us one step at a time, taking things one step at a time. And he's paired up with the 8 of hearts. That's generally satisfactory. Moving on and not caught up, not confused with other tasks. So he's doing well there. That's a good pairing, so you can go forward with that. In the center card, the pivot card, we have the Tower. The Tower is upside down. That is very unsatisfactory. That's the spine, and he is paired with this Seven of Clubs, which is already very unsatisfactory. So the head and the spine, there's a problem. Definitely going to be a super struggle. Then we come over here to the far side, the right side. So we have a Jack of Clubs. So that's going to be our Knight, and he is bringing a lot of adverse building energy, a lot of adverse energy to this Three of Clubs. And the Three of Clubs is already very stressful because it's a 3, so there's difficulty in the 3 itself. That's what we're looking at is trials and testing. Constant trials and testing if we go that route, so that would be unsatisfactory quite a bit. Then we come down to the foundation, which the 6, okay? So the 6 is good, but the 6 is upside down. So that's reversed 6, and that's very unsatisfactory. So our spade, which is a sword, the spade is paired up with 8 of diamonds, which the 8 of diamonds is jobbing out. You're working and working, just kind of working your task. Just keep working at it. See that is paired, the 2 are paired together. It looks to me, in this case, the 6, which is supposed to be a reward for moving past the 5, which was all the trials, is very unsatisfactory. So that paired up with the 8 is going to bring nothing but difficulty for foundation. So that would be a rather difficult task. So as a foundation to this layout right here, doing writer full time, even though there's no financial concerns, it looks like it's not favorable at this time, and that is projected 2 years from now. So maybe if we look at other options, like what else besides writer, or maybe specifically what kind of writer, but generally as a blanket question and reading, like just no financial concerns, and I start now, 2 years from now, what would my life look like as a writer? Would be a miserable freaking wreck. So that's pretty much what you get. I think all 3 of these are very good readings. They're showing dissatisfaction with writing 2 years from now if it's the only goal. So there's other goals along with my tarot reading and other things that could work along with this. YouTube channel, many other things. So I don't see anywhere in here where it shows that writing is bad or a bad option. The only thing that has been unsatisfactory the whole time is a full-time vocation, quit everything in my life and do writing only. So again, the questions might be able to be asked better, but we have what we have. We have a great answer. So that's it. Y'all have a wonderful day. May you be richly blessed. Ciao.